Hello, my name is Cherie. I'm the student, and today I'll be demonstrating practical number 3 for Communication Skills 2 through video assessment with my partner Robert. The role play we have chosen is Client B. Robert is attending counselling to gain assistance in working through his feelings about a very recent separation. He is in disbelief about the situation and claims that he didn't think anything was wrong with the relationship. At some point in the session, Robert becomes disproportionately focused on his family pets. He says that he thinks his partner is selfish by not thinking about the pets when she left. He then talks excessively about his love for these animals. He begins retelling tales of their funny antics and of their likes and dislikes. So, let's get started. Hello Robert, my name's Cherie.
Hi Cherie, how you going?
Good, please take a seat.
Thank you. Do you mind if I just pop this down now?
No, of course not. Have you come straight from work?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm not going to finish early on a Tuesday, which is good.
Oh, it's always nice to have an early finish.
Yeah, it is.
So you work close to here?
Yeah, just down the road in Southport, so not too far.
Very close.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can I do for you today, Robert?
Well, I'm here for a number of reasons, really, but I don't know really where to start.
Okay, can you tell me some more?
Yeah, so myself and my fiancée Danny, we've recently just separated, and it's quite frustrating, actually.
Frustrated? Can you explain to me what you mean by frustrated?
Yeah, well, I'm frustrated because I don't know where this all came from. You know, Danny and I were together for 8 years. Last year I proposed to her overseas, and, you know, she was over the moon, and we just started planning our wedding.
That's okay, take your time.
We've also been saving up to buy a house. We have 2 pet dogs, and now that she's left, I find it really selfish because she never even thought about the pets.
The pets, can you elaborate on how the pets are involved?
Yeah, well, she's just left and they're both our dogs, and, you know, I love them so much, but apparently more than she does, and, you know, we're renting together and the lease is nearly finished, but I don't know what I'm going to do about it. So she just dumped the responsibility on me completely. It's just so selfish of her. You know, I expected more. I mean, what about the relationship I have with her family? Did she ever think about that? And, you know, what about my family? Did she ever, you know, did they ever mean anything to me? And what about me? You know, how can she just leave me after everything that, you know, we've gone through, without telling me what was, you know, actually wrong?
It does sound like you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, I do.
Well, Robert, you have mentioned a number of areas that are troubling you. We will certainly discuss all of these in time, but can you tell me, is there one that stands out as the most pressing?
Yeah, I guess it's just I'm not coping with you know, the separation. It's just pretty unexpected, I guess, and I'm just, you know, still in disbelief.
Yeah, so you feel shocked because the separation was out of the blue?
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah, it sounds as though you had planned your future with Danny. She was a big part of your life, and now that you have separated, a whole lot of things have changed.
Yeah, that's right. You know, 8 years we were together, we built a life together. You know, and now I don't know where to go from here.
Okay, so you would like to work through the feelings you have about the separation with Danny. You'd also like to explore options for how to move on from here. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, I just don't know where to begin. You know, one day we were together and the next day we weren't together. So, you know.
Robert, if you don't mind me asking, how long ago did you separate?
About a month ago now.
And how often do you find yourself thinking about and getting upset about what happened?
Usually, you know, a few times a day.
And what do you believe brings these feelings on?
Well, normally if it's just something that reminds me of Danny, and, you know, there's a lot of things that do remind me of Danny. For example, you know, on the way here to this appointment, I drove past a restaurant that we normally go to together, and it just, you know, brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah, I understand. It must be very hard.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be at work and my thoughts will drift off. I'll start feeling frustrated and just start questioning what I'm doing. Like now I'm down to one income. You know, should I be working an extra job or should I stay here? You know, I love what I do.
Could you be feeling this way because circumstances have changed?
Yeah, that's probably the reason. I guess I'm just finding it difficult to adjust to these changes, and I really don't know. You know, I really don't want to make rash decisions based on my emotions because I know at the end of the day, you know, they might not be the right decisions. that's why I'm here, because I just want to get over this separation and somehow, control my feelings. And I think if I can do that, I'll be in a better place.
So can we say for now that monitoring your feelings is a top priority for you and a goal that we can work towards?
Yeah, because I believe if I can do this, then everything else will kind of fall into place. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I think this is a great goal to have, Robert. By attending this counselling and opening up to me about what it is you want to achieve shows great strength and commitment. Now that we know what your main goal is, we can start looking at the steps you will need to take to get there. How does this sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so for the next week, I would like you to keep a simple diary of key thoughts throughout the day. Next to each thought, I want you to write a brief statement about how that thought affected your emotions. Is that something you feel would be of benefit to you?
Yeah, for sure. I think, but would it be okay if I maybe did it on my mobile phone? Because when I'm out and about, it just probably work a lot better.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I find I get most upset when I'm not busy, so I do like, to keep myself busy, but, that way I don't have time to think about what's happened.
So keeping yourself busy helps?
Yeah, I think so. Some days at work I'll be so busy and just get home and feel like I've had an okay day because Danny's not on my mind.
Okay, and what do you do at home to keep yourself busy?
Well, this is where I find it hard. So Danny and I have got a lot of mutual friends, and so far they've all been really supportive. But I try and avoid these social occasions because I don't want it to feel awkward. Because she may be there as well, and it'll be awkward for everyone else. So I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't really feel like talking to my friends about what's happened either.
I see. So since the separation, you haven't been as social?
Yeah, look, no, not really. I enjoy reading, but I'm finding even that hard at the moment. I've been taking the two dogs for a walk, which I find gives me myself time to think.
So you enjoy walking the dogs?
Yeah, they're great company. I've got two boxers. One's 4 years old, and the other one's just turned 1, and they're really funny. They love going for walks. Last week when I took them to the park, Rex, the younger one, made a new friend. Toby wasn't very happy about that. He gets pretty jealous, and I think he's just pretty protective of Rex.
Well, it's great that they get along. Boxers are great dogs. They keep you busy.
Yeah, they are. They love going on walks, but they hate the water. I've tried so many times to get them to go for a swim at the beach, but they just both hate it. I wonder if Toby taught this bad habit or if it's just the breed. Even when it comes to bathing them, it's just so hard. Actually, it's a two-person job. So I'm going to find it difficult now.
Stay with what you're feeling. You're doing fine.
I still can't believe that Danny hasn't gotten in touch regarding the dogs. It's like they don't exist. I mean, it's not like I want her to take them, but the fact that she hasn't spoken to me about them at all makes me realise how selfish she is. We both bought the dogs from the same breeder, years apart, but together as a couple. I mean, she knows I'm not going to be able to stay here on my own, and that I'll find it difficult to find another rental by myself, which will allow pets.
It's okay to let yourself feel angry about that.
Yes, I am. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't care about the dogs. I don't know what's gotten into her, but I don't want to talk about it anymore. It just makes me upset.
It's natural for you to feel upset when you talk about this.
Yeah, I'm upset because, that she can be so cold. It makes me angry.
I see, Robert. You've mentioned that you feel she doesn't care about you or the dogs. I'm wondering what one makes you more angrier.
I'm angry that she left the way she did.
Is this because it was out of the blue?
Yeah, of course. 8 years we were together. It's a long time. I think I deserve more of an explanation, so some closure.
Yeah, so you're angry because you haven't received that proper closure.
That's right. How am I supposed to move on from this? I don't know what happened. We had plans. I thought she was the one. And I keep going over everything in my head. Was it me? Did I do something wrong? But all she told me was that it was her. I mean, what kind of lousy explanation is that?
And have you been in contact with Danny since the separation?
Only when she came to collect her belongings, and that was the day after we broke up.
Okay, so that was about a month ago?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And did you talk about it then?
No, I was too upset.
Have you tried contacting her since then?
No, why bother? She obviously doesn't care at all. She probably moved on, who knows.
Robert, you say you would like some closure, but you haven't tried contacting Danny since the separation?
Yeah, I know. When you put it like that, it doesn't make sense, but it's not that easy.
No, it would be a very hard thing to do.
Yes, and I don't understand why I'm the one that has to control her. I mean, she's the one who broke up with me. I don't owe her any explanation. I was hoping by now she'd have at least tried to make contact with me, even just once. But nothing. It's pretty clear she doesn't have the time for me, so I'm not going to go out of my way to make time for her.
I understand how upsetting it must be that you haven't heard from her. You mentioned for you to move on, you need proper closure.
Yes, I'm ready to move on. That's why I'm here. I need to get on with my life.
I know, Robert, that you don't want to be the one that makes the first move, but have you considered that Danny may never be the one that makes that first move? That if you were the one to get in contact with her, you may get the closure you need, and that it'll be more beneficial for yourself?
Yeah, I have thought about it, but then I get angry, so I stop thinking about it. I'm just so sick of always being the bigger person and doing the right thing. I know that's what I should probably do.
Do you think, though, that by doing this, as unfair as it is, as it must feel, will give you the opportunity for growth? That maybe you will learn a lot from the experience and will help you achieve your goals and move on?
Yeah, I guess so.
Robert, I sense that you're getting a pretty good handle on the issues that first brought you to see me. Are you feeling the same way, or would you feel more comfortable meeting one or two more times before we see how you handle things without further help?
No, I feel the same way. I feel I've come a long way in the past 6 weeks. I'm glad I finally made contact with Danny. If I didn't, I think she would be in the same spot I was when we first came in.
Yes. You feel you got the closure you needed to move on by making the first contact. Is that right?
Yes, I'm not entirely happy with Danny's explanation, but now I know that it had nothing to do with me. Her feelings were always out of my control, and I can finally stop beating myself up about it.
Yes, and how about your feelings? Your main goal when we first started was for you to monitor your own feelings. Would I be correct in saying the journal has somewhat helped during our time together?
Yeah, it did help. It made me more aware of what triggered my unpleasant feelings. Wow, I can't believe how quickly time's gone.
Me either.
So we're terminating. What do we do when we're finishing?
Well, as we've briefly just gone over, I think it's a good time to remember where you were when we first met, to think about what we have done and where you are now in relation to the issues you came in with. It's also a time to think about how you may handle things in the future. We get to see if there are any loose ends that we want to talk about before you leave, and finally we say goodbye.
Well, I do believe I can better manage my feelings. I'm still upset about the whole situation though. I hope in time it gets easier. I guess a part of me back then was still hoping that Danny and I would get back together, that maybe attending counselling would help us. I know this won't happen, and I know as sad as it still makes me, I think I'm okay with that. Danny and I weren't meant to be.
So you originally thought that maybe therapy could fix your relationship, but now you've come to the realisation and accepted that it wasn't the relationship that needed fixing.
That's it. So I feel, I've got the clarity I needed. I'm not as frustrated as what I was when I first started, and I was questioning everything, and I think that's because I had to learn to be me again. For a long period of my life, it was just us, and then overnight, it was just me.
So you're not as confused?
No, yeah, I am.
I sense that you're really getting a new hold on your life, that you are rediscovering who you are. Am I close?
Yeah, it's good to feel excited again about life, about the future. My future 2 months ago looked completely different to what it looks like now. New opportunities have opened up to me, and actually I booked an overseas trip with my best mate last night, something I would never have done had I still been with Danny.
Well, that's great to hear. It does sound like you have a bit to be excited about. How do you feel you will handle things in the future?
Okay, I think. It's been nice to have someone to talk to and get everything off my chest. I know that, through these sessions, I know that they won't last forever.
Well, why don't you try things on your own for the next 3 weeks, see how things are going, and then call me if you still feel uncertain. How does this sound?
Yeah, it sounds good.
We also offer support groups for people who have been through recent divorces and separations. You mentioned that you would like having someone to talk to. These groups offer great support for people who have been through similar experiences. So the option is there if that is something that may interest you in the future.
Okay, well, yeah, that sounds great. It's great to know. I'll keep it in mind and I'll let you know in a few weeks. When I call, let you know how things are going.
That's fine. Well, I'm both happy and sad that our time is drawing to a close. I'm happy that you've made so much progress and can now better monitor your feelings, but I will miss our talks. I do think you'll be pretty well equipped to deal with what the future holds. Of course, though, as I mentioned, I'll be available to assist you if you run into something you're uncomfortable about handling.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all the help that you've provided me.
That's my pleasure. And that is all.